Welcome back to another news video. This week we're talking about the pricing drama surrounding Borderlands 4, team morale at an all-time low over at Bungie, as well as more Reddit leaks for Battlefield 6. Plus, we got a bonus round covering the announcement of Stellar Blade Complete Edition, stupid money crippling the gaming industry, the Skyblivion team becoming besties with Bethesda, and more. All news articles sourced for this video are linked down in the description below. Like, sub, do all that YouTube stuff. Let's get into it. This comes to us from IGN. Randy Pitchford, the head of Gearbox and Borderlands 4 boss, he's kind of stirred the pot with a tweet, responding to a fan concerned about a potential $80 price tag for Borderlands 4. To quote, Pitchford stated, A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make that happen. So yeah, you can imagine after that comment, the Borderlands community just got fired up, and a bunch of them responded, "We're not going to buy the game," or some even going as far as threatening to pirate the game when it releases. Pitchford later attempted to sort of save face and to clarify his statement, he emphasized that it was not his intent to make anyone feel like they were taken for granted. He wanted to express the value of this new Borderlands game, that his team has been working really hard and crushing it to essentially create the best Borderlands experience they've ever made. And Randy's actually right that the pricing of the game is really out of their hands. The best way to sort of describe the relationship between developers and publishers is that the developers are essentially contractors. They are tasked with making a game and are provided a certain amount of money that both sides agree on. And once the game is done, the game's handed over to the publisher, and the publisher decides what the value is for that game. Ideally, they price it at a point where they make up the cost of making the game and make some more for profit. In the end, Pitchford wanted to sort of clarify and convey that dedicated fans would recognize the value of Borderlands 4 and the effort that was put into the game, rather than demanding that they pay up whatever the amount is for this game, which everyone is speculating it's going to be $80. Pricing has not been confirmed, but my advice to gamers is don't spend money that you don't have. I know it sucks, but times are a little rough as of late, and gaming being an entertainment hobby of sorts is starting to become an expensive one to maintain and keep. There are plenty of other games out there that you can play today at a much cheaper price point. And some of these are even free. And unpopular opinion here, this might be a really good time to maybe find some other hobbies other than video games. You know, pick up some other interests, maybe like touching grass. I've got a video that I'll link down in the description that kind of goes over this topic. Check it out when you finish this one. Paul Tassi over at Forbes gave us a damning update regarding Bungie and its art plagiarism scandal. We reported on this last week, but we've got some more details now to share. Internal sources reported that the studio's morale is at an all-time low surrounding the recent controversies and concerns of Marathon's overall reception. The recent accusations from artist Anti-Real of design theft, as well as Bungie's admission, has really damaged the game's previously praised visual design. The game's closed alpha and initial gameplay reveal received a lot of mixed and negative feedback from playtesters. Bungie has reportedly pulled back its main marketing campaign, including a new trailer as well as pre-orders, which were set for June. A heavily marketed public beta in August may be replaced by a roadmap of public playtests to offer multiple opportunities for player feedback. While no internal discussions hint at a delay for the September release date, it is considered entirely possible, if not likely, that higher leadership is having these conversations right now. Some developers internally express concerns about the game's core concept, including the lack of any PvE component as far back as 5 years ago, but the higher-ups ultimately ignored their concerns. At this point, Bungie has taken a gut punch, fallen on the floor, and now they're being kicked by their community, and they are feeling the pressure. It's all actually really sad to hear, in my opinion. We obviously want to call out any kind of bullshit that happens in the game industry. Man, this just sounds like a rough situation. In the end, I don't want Bungie to fail. There is a talented team at the studio, and they've made some memorable experiences with Destiny and Halo. Clearly, they have a lot of work to do to fix their process of art reviewing. And of course, the higher-ups steering the ship should be listening to their team's feedback, on top of addressing the feedback Marathon has received in these most recent playtests. I don't envy them. They've got a lot of work ahead of them. Let's see if Bungie can correct things and save Marathon as a brand from all of this negativity. And for our third main news story, this one comes from PC Gamer. The Battlefield subreddit is just flowing with a bunch of Battlefield 6 leaks. And what's surprising is that Electronic Arts is being somewhat lenient. They're taking down the larger leaks, but they're allowing some smaller clips and screenshots to remain on the subreddit. Not sure how I feel about that. It seems to throw out some really mixed messaging when it comes to doing closed play tests that require you to sign an NDA. I feel like this is almost encouraging leaking behavior for other developers that might be trying to do similar closed alpha tests that require players to sign an NDA. Anyhow, this constant stream of leaks is also acting as an effective yet unintentional sort of marketing campaign. Players are genuinely excited. Some of these leaks have confirmed that the return of a class system is coming back with Battlefield 6. But there is a point of contention surrounding the freedom in weapon selection. Depending on what class you pick, you can actually use whatever weapon you want, whereas in prior iterations, you were sort of locked into a kit depending on the class that you decide to play with. But yeah, the official statement is that classes won't be locked into using specific weapons, but players will be incentivized to use specific weapons to activate passive buffs within that class. So yeah, if you're interested in getting a sneak peek, just visit the Battlefield subreddit. There's plenty of leaks to take a look at. I have been granted access to the playtest. I will respect the NDA that I signed, so you won't be getting any leaks from me personally. If there is anything I can say though, it has been a pretty good time. Alright, that wraps up our main news stories for the week, but hang tight, we've got a bonus round coming up with some quickfire news to round it all out. Also, if you're enjoying this video, consider supporting my channel by subscribing. And while you're at it, maybe even hit that like button. It means a lot to me, and I greatly appreciate it, so thanks. This was reported by Game Rant. A complete edition of Stellar Blade has been announced officially. This edition is set to launch in June 2025 for both PlayStation 5 and PC. The complete edition will feature 25 new outfits and a new boss fight against the Centil leader Man. I haven't played this game, I don't know who that is. Sounds cool though. Additionally, it will also include Japanese and simplified Chinese voiceovers. Players who already own the original PlayStation 5 version will receive all the additional content as a free update. That is great to hear. As for the PC release, it is specifically confirmed to release on June 11th. The PC release date was confirmed. It's going to come out June 11th. I'll be looking forward to playing this one on PC. This next one comes from game developer, former Sony Interactive Entertainment's president Shuei Yoshida. Forgive me for pronouncing your name wrong. Anyhow, he feels that the recent volatility in the games industry is due to stupid money invested during the COVID-19 pandemic. So Yoshida stated that many companies and analysts incorrectly believed the pandemic-driven growth would continue, leading to overinvestment and excessive hiring. I was actually a victim of this. Found a lot of work during the pandemic, and now not so much. He views the current industry adjustment, like layoffs and project cancellations, as a correction to these misjudged calculations, spending decisions after the pandemic growth slowed down. Yoshida advises many companies to invest in diverse portfolios of titles rather than risking everything on a small number of major hits like giant AAA endeavors, especially for new IPs. In other words, this should be a time for publishers to wake up and realize that it's okay to make smaller games. Not every effort needs to be a giant AAA investment. Some recent examples I can think of these kinds of investments that have turned out to be huge successes are Astrobot for the PlayStation 5 and even Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Hopefully we get some more bangers like those, all while maintaining a healthy video game industry. Saw this over at IGN. The team behind the ambitious Skyblivion mod, which rebuilds Oblivion within Skyrim, had the chance to visit Bethesda headquarters and meet Todd Howard. This visit came after Bethesda provided the entire Skyblivion team keys to the Oblivion Remastered Edition. Bethesda also reassured the modders that they have no intention of shutting down their project, which is great news considering that this team of modders has been working on this project for roughly 13 years. Some photos were shared online by one of the modders known as Rebel Size, and it shows both development teams together. Bethesda even stated that it was wonderful to have you all visit, indicating a really positive exchange between both teams. I love these kinds of feel-good stories. And here's another story from IGN. An unannounced title for the Super Mario Bros. Movie sequel, Super Mario World, was briefly published in an NBC Universal press release before being quickly pulled down. The title Super Mario World is pretty significant because it's the game that introduced Yoshi to everyone. And this kind of correlates actually with his appearance in the first movie's post-credits scene. So the article suggests that Super Mario World might be a broader umbrella term for the sequel, similar to how Shrek and Minion sequels are titled, rather than a direct adaptation of the game's plot. I played all the Mario games for the NES, but I really loved Super Mario World for the Super NES. I played the shit out of it. I 100%ed it. The special levels were crazy for the time. By far, it's my favorite of all the side-scroller Mario games, and this has me really excited. I kind of hope they pull a lot of inspiration from the Super Mario World video game. We'll have to wait and see. And that's a wrap for this week's news video. Any thoughts or opinions that you want to share regarding any of these stories, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And trust me, I do read your comments, and I do my best to respond to as many as I can. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more great gaming content. And if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.